Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four College Football Podcast. Let's get right into things. Who is your top 5 football programs in the Big Ten? 5-1.
Oh boy. 5-1. Currently or like historically?
Currently.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Barely.
All right. Well, I'm going with Wisconsin at number 5. I'll go Penn State at 4, Michigan State at 3, and then Michigan and Ohio State.
No, that's ridiculous.
Now
How do you have Michigan in the top 5? That's absurd. That is ridiculous.
5-1, you said?
Yeah.
I'd have to go with Wisconsin, Michigan State, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State.
Just ridiculous. Absurd.
Well, you said currently. Penn State is much better than Michigan State did.
No. I'm thinking about this year. I'm thinking about next year.
Currently, if you mean next year.
Well, I'm looking at the programs that show up every year. Number 5, I've got...
Your program won 7-5.
Okay. Number 5, I've got Northwestern. They've been to Indy and Michigan hasn't. They're number 5. Number 4, I've got Penn State. Penn State sucks. Most overrated program in the Big Ten. They're still number 4. Number 3, I've got Wisconsin. Solid program. 10 wins usually. Having a down year. Number 2, I've got Michigan State because we're the best team. That's not named Ohio State. And I've got Ohio State number 1. Michigan's not in the top 5.
All right. Ridiculous.
Why is that?
How do you not have Michigan in the top 5? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Well, you have to go to Indy to be in my top 5.
You just said currently.
Well, I'm thinking about currently, yeah.
Well, you can suck it.
Yeah, well, Michigan hasn't been to Indy. They haven't proven they can win the big game.
I'm sorry, Michigan's been to 2 near 6 bowls in the last 3 years.
Yeah, well, Northwestern is
has 5 losses. That's what Northwestern has.
Yeah, well, Northwestern's been to Indy and Michigan hasn't. So that's all I've seen.
This podcast is now going to be our least viewed podcast just because of that stupid opinion that you just uttered.
Well, I mean, I got to see Michigan go to Indy before I can say anything.
Are you calling coward?
You're
just gonna say stupid things.
Yeah, I got Nebraska. I got Nebraska over Michigan too. So Michigan's number 7.
Okay.
Rutgers is about to pass them with the recruit they just got. What a great recruiting class.
Oh, the Swedish guy?
Yeah, the Swedish O-lineman.
Yeah, I saw that.
Last time.
Minnesota, I think, is going to pass too with the new coach who's that coordinator.
Oh, you know what? Minnesota's number 6. Minnesota is going to win the Big Ten next year.
I'm shocked Chris didn't have Illinois in there. Oh, listen, Illinois is on the outside looking in. They have one of the best coaches in the Big Ten, so they're probably number 6.
Well, Minnesota now has the best coaching staff in the Big Ten with their addition of Joe Hanasimiak, the main coach. They will now have the number 1 defense in the country next year, and I predict, and it will be 100% true. Minnesota's winning the Big Ten, and they're going to the playoff next year.
Okay. That was like me saying Iowa was going to put the playoff this season.
Nope, because Minnesota's just got more talent. They're just a better football program than Iowa is.
The worst coach in the Big Ten.
Oh, that's ridiculous. If we were doing top 5 coaches, I would put PJ Fleck number 1. The way he's built that Minnesota program. All right, let's...
12 and 21 at Maine.
What?
Iowa had one of the greatest coaches of all time. He went 12 and 21 at Maine.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. Top 5 college football coaches in America. It doesn't have to be 5-1 if you can't think about it, but try to make it 5-1.
Are we putting every
Jesus Christ. All right, yeah. Top 5 coaches. Who do you guys have for top 5 coaches?
You know, at 5, I have to go with Cliff Kingsbury.
He's not a coach. He got fired.
All right, fine. At 5, I will go with, let's see here. Let's see. I will go with Mark D'Antonio at number 5. I will go with Lovie Smith at number 4.
Jesus.
I'll go
Jesus.
Lincoln Riley at 3. Urban Meyer at 2. And Nick Saban at 1. All right. Well, I would go with at 5, Mike Leach. Number 4. So with historically speaking, I'll go Jimbo Fisher. Number 3, Dabo Sweeney. That's a good pick. Oh no, Dabo Sweeney's awful. And then Urban Meyer, then Nick Saban. Dabo Sweeney's the worst coach in college football. That's why he wins
ridiculous.
The ACC every year. The ACC is worse than the CAA.
Okay, number 5, I've got PJ Fleck.
Roll the boat.
Especially
what about Jim McElwain in Central Michigan?
No, especially with the new addition of defensive coordinator Joe Hemisimiak. Minnesota's going to go to the playoff next year. He's going to prove to be a top 5 coach. He's got things he's rowing it. He's just starting to row the boat. Number 4, Chris Peterson. Nasty coach.
Oh my God.
No. Number 3, I have a tie for number 3 between Mike Gundy and Ed Ogeron.
Coach O.
2 great coaches doing just great jobs at their programs. Number 2, I've got Nick Saban, and number 1, I've got Mark D'Antonio, because Mark D'Antonio has had more success than Nick Saban has at Michigan State. Only reason why. I've decided to leave Urban Meyer out of the top 5 because he's not a top 5 coach this year. Ryan Day has been coaching that team all year, and he's not the head coach yet.
Hold on. You just picked the coach who went 7-5 over Nick Saban.
Yeah, Nick.
You were going to take Cliff Kingsbury, who got fired.
Well,
Cliff Kingsbury's nasty.
Well, Nick Saban's best year at Michigan State, he went 9-3. So Mark D'Antonio is a better coach.
Dude, Nick Saban laps Mark D'Antonio.
Now, put Mark D'Antonio at Bama, he'd win the national championship twice every year. All right. The worst programs in the Power 6. We're going to start with the American Conference because that's the most important Power 6 conference. Who's the worst program in the Power 6?
Well, the American Conference is not a power conference, but if I had to pick, let's see, I'd probably go with UConn because they had the worst statistical defense in all of college football this year.
That's ridiculous. That is absurd.
Are we going with this year or, like, historically speaking?
I don't care what you do. Doesn't matter. Just explain your reasoning.
Okay, well, let's see here. We got a bunch of options. I'm gonna have to go with Tulsa. They're just mediocre. Literally every year they're mediocre. Tulsa is a powerhouse. They're not a powerhouse. That's like choosing Memphis. Well, Memphis is good, but Tulsa is just so mediocre and so not in contention every single year. May I add that UCF is a very close second for me in this? Oh, really?
That's ridiculous. I got Navy as the worst program in the American.
Oh, come on.
No, they suck. They couldn't beat Army. They haven't beaten Army in 3 years. They suck. But a close second, East Carolina.
I was going to put them. They suck.
Thank God that Montgomery guy's gone because he sucked. He ran the program into the ground. Ridiculous. All right. The Pac-12. The Conference of Champions.
I think. Good. job here to take care of, you know. I'm happy to go on there. And there's a lot of games. Go to Washington State is up next.
All right, we're back again. The worst program in the Pac-12.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with let's see. I'm gonna go with Colorado. Sure.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna go with Arizona. Oh my God, that is awful. They are never good. They're always good. They're never good. Coach.
Rich Rod. Rich Rod. How dare you disrespect Rich Rod like that?
That is true. Don't disrespect Rich Rod. Well, I will because they suck every year.
Yeah, well, Michigan's still paying Rich Rod, so you can't disrespect him.
Fair enough. I'm still going to take them, though.
Well, this is a tough one for me between USC, Washington State. But I was tempted to pick UCLA. I was tempted to pick Utah. I was tempted to pick Arizona State. But, no. It's a tough one, but I'm going to have to go with USC. They're just not a good program right now. 5-7 with all that talent. You kidding me? 5-7? That's ridiculous. Absurd. All right. The Big 12.
Kansas. Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Kansas was nasty a few years ago. This is a real tough one. I will go with Iowa State. That's absurd. How dare you disrespect
Iowa State? My goodness.
They've never done anything good except for success. They were ranked all year this year. What are you on? The past couple of years, never been good.
Yep.
Kansas has never been good. Kansas has been good. When? A few years ago.
Yep. This is an easy one for me. I got to go with Texas Tech. Cliff Kingsbury ran that program into the ground.
You did not just say that. You did not just say
Nope,
that.
he ran the program into the ground.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. They had Patrick Mahomes and they couldn't do anything.
They had Patrick Mahomes went 5-7. What are you saying?
The best offensive college football year in and year out.
Okay, what does that get them?
If you give up 85 points a game, it's not going to matter.
Remember when you said Texas Tech was a playoff contender and they finished 5-7?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, really?
He also said Miami was going to the playoffs.
Yeah, they pulled a mini Colorado and lost like their last 5 games. And then look who you picked. You picked Colorado. So guess what? It's easily Texas Tech because Kansas, Les Miles, bringing that program in the right direction.
Les Miles.
Okay.
They're going to be on the sideline for their big bowl game.
Yeah, they're in the Fruit Fly Bowl against Rutgers. The rematch.
The rematch. That 30-point blowout.
Yeah, ESPN's gonna brand it as the rematch, and they're gonna put so many ads on there on ESPN. It's a must-watch.
They should do like a 30 for 30 on it.
The 2018 Fruit Fly Bowl. All right. The SEC.
Vanderbilt.
Ridiculous.
That's horrible.
Derek Mason is a top 10 coach in America.
So there's no other option. It's so obviously Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt? You know what? Every other team in the SEC is a blue blood except for Vanderbilt. You know what? I'm picking. You know what? Tennessee. Oh, come on. Tennessee is not.
That's a great pick.
Tennessee is overrated every single year.
They had Peyton Manning. They had Peyton Manning and couldn't win a national championship. That's how bad they are.
Right. Exactly. I was going to go with Old Miss, but Tennessee is awful.
Yeah, I was going to go with Ole Miss as well, but they have Matt Luke as their head coach, and he's turning that program around. You know what? I'm going to have to go with Florida. I mean, you can't lose to Michigan 2 years in a row and not be the worst program in your conference. So I'm going to go with Florida.
That's
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, makes a lot of sense what you just said. Okay, next conference. The ACC.
I'm going with Duke. They've never been good.
Oh my God! That's ridiculous!
No, it's an obvious pick.
No! Ridiculous!
David Cutcliffe has been overrated.
Oh my God!
It's like, he's like, they're in the same boat as Kansas. They're in the same boat as Kansas. All their recruiting money goes towards basketball, and he still puts out a winning team. No, he does not put out a winning team. My God. Team's always, his best team is always...
That's why they finished with a better record than Texas Tech. That's funny, isn't it? Duke, I can't believe you said that.
You gotta look at the history. You gotta look at the history of it, too.
Okay, I looked at the history for Texas Tech, and they have none. So...
That's disgraceful. That's disgraceful. I'm gonna go with Louisville. Oh, come on.
That's a good pick. That's a great pick.
They suck. And there's no other way around that. They were good for like 2 years when they had Teddy Bridgewater. What about the football school? And can't do that. All right, smart ass.
Yeah, this is an easy one for me. Syracuse. They suck at football. Never been good ever.
All right. Ridiculous. They were nutty this year.
Oh, yeah. That's why they got shut out by Notre Dame. They're such a great team.
Well, Notre Dame's in the playoff, weren't they?
Doesn't matter. Notre Dame shouldn't be in the playoff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, how come Pitt almost beat Notre Dame at home and Syracuse couldn't get a touchdown? How about that?
Or a field goal.
Or anything.
Eric Dungey's one of the greatest college quarterbacks ever.
Well, if Eric Dungey's one of the greatest college quarterbacks ever, then Kenny Pickett is the greatest college quarterback ever.
By the way, nobody chose Virginia. I probably should have chose them.
No, Virginia's a quality program. All right, Big Ten.
Chris, you can go. Rutgers is very intriguing here. I can't. That I'm in the conference long enough, so I can't choose that. I can't go with Indiana. By the way, I should have put Tom Allen my top coaches. Just because of Tom Allen. You love 5 and 7 coaches, don't you? 5 and 7 coaches.
So he must have loved Brady Hoke. Must have been his favorite coach.
I'm gonna go Minnesota.
Oh, that's ridiculous! How dare you? How dare you? The disrespect thrown at PJ Fleck. Oh my goodness.
It's an obvious pick. Minnesota is just not a good team.
I've got contacts. They may have lost to Illinois this year, but next year they're going to the playoff.
Well, Illinois is the top 5 program in the Big Ten, so.
Oh yeah, just like their basketball program.
Well, my pick is Illinois.
Good pick.
You do not. Oh my God, that is awful. How dare you? Loving is the top 2 coaches in the Big Ten, and you know who's ahead of him? PJ Fleck. No, so get out of here.
That's right. PJ Fleck, best coach in the Big Ten.
I would fire Jim Harbaugh right now for PJ Fleck. I'd fire Jim Harbaugh for Lovie Smith.
That is my dream. If Mark D'Antonio retires, I would pay PJ Fleck $20 million a year to come to East Lansing. I would cut the gymnastics budget. I would cut every other budget. I would fire Tom Izzo just to get PJ Fleck over here. And make sure that Joe Wizniak, or what the heck his name is over here as well, because he's the best defensive coordinator in the country already. And my pick is Michigan. No explanation here. They can't beat a rival. Illinois can beat a rival. Rutgers can beat their rivals. They beat Seton Hall in basketball last year. Michigan just can't beat a rival.
What rival does Illinois have?
You know, Eastern Illinois.
State?
You know, Northwestern. They keep it close every year. Yeah, easy. That was an easy pick for me. All right, let's go to picks. You can see the standings there. Chris is 26 games back now. But there's still time. So there's already 2 bowls that have happened. Those are our picks for the Boca Raton Bowl and UAB 1. Chris was the only team not to take UAB. He took Northern Illinois, and they lost.
By a lot.
San Diego State lost to Ohio in the Frisco Bowl. Luke was the only person to take Ohio. And
because they're a MAC team, as he said.
Exactly. This bowl's going on right now, but I felt like we can still pick it. The Gasparilla Bowl. Marshall against USF.
You said this was the South Korea Bowl?
The Gaspara Bowl? I don't know. The South Korea Bowl.
I think Marshall's been an underrated team all year. I knew that was coming because I remember when you picked Marshall to beat Virginia Tech. Well, Virginia Tech sucks. Well, they got blown out. Marshall got blown out by Virginia. And you picked Syracuse in basketball, and they got blown out by Buffalo. What's your point? All right. I'm going to go USF, even though they are losing 21-7 right now, because of Blake Barnett.
Is he even playing?
I have to look. Doesn't matter. I'm surprised you don't have Charlie Strong in your top 5 coaches. With 45 yards, he's going off. Give me Blake Barnett and USF.
Yeah, I was gonna take Marshall, but I feel like because they're winning, it would look like I'm sandbagging it, so I have to take USF now. All right. The Bahamas Bowl. FIU versus Toledo.
I'm not a big believer in FIU. I've been paying close attention to them all year.
Nope.
I'm gonna go with Toledo. I was gonna pick Toledo until Chris picked them, so I'm gonna pick FIU.
Honestly, the strategy's been working. Just pick against what Chris picks. But I'm gonna take Toledo because they're the better team. But I wouldn't be shocked if FIU won. All right. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Western Michigan and BYU.
Oh boy. Western Michigan, after their basketball team came off that big rivalry loss to Michigan last weekend, they're going to row the boat, and they're going to beat BYU. No, BYU should have beaten Utah, so I'm going to take them.
Yeah, I saw Western Michigan lose to Miami of Ohio. What was it, like 56-7? And Miami, Ohio finished 5-7 in the MAC. I'm going to take BYU.
Ridiculous.
Okay. The FCS Championship, Eastern Washington versus North Dakota State.
North Dakota State rules the FCS, so I'm going to pick them.
Okay. Chris not going to pick this game? Fair enough.
I thought the call was Hello.
All right. You going to pick this game?
Yes, I had it on mute.
Nice.
I'm going with Eastern Washington because of that incredible performance that Washington had last week against Maine. So, give me Eastern Washington.
I was going to pick Eastern Washington, but because Chris picked it, I'm taking North Dakota State.
Yes. Strategy.
Memphis versus Wake Forest in the Birmingham Bowl.
Good. I'm going Wake Forest because they're a Power 5 team. Memphis is not. All right. There's logic. Chris said the ACC sucks. And Wake Forest finished 6-6 in the ACC. And honestly, the American might have been better, so I'm going to go with Memphis.
Well, I was going to take Wake Forest, but because Chris took it, I'm taking Memphis. All right, Houston versus Army in the Armed Forces Bowl.
and Houston. Army almost beat Oklahoma. And they haven't even looked that bad, so I'm going to pick Army.
Yep. Because Chris took Houston, I'm taking Army.
You guys are going to regret this when I make up ground.
Oh, okay. All right, Buffalo versus Troy, the Dollar General Bowl. Big game.
You know, Buffalo, I bet you against them on the basketball podcast twice, and they're going to lose to Marquette. So I will take Troy. I will. This is a tough one. I'm gonna take Troy as well.
Because Chris took Troy, I'm taking Buffalo. The Hawaii Bowl. Hawaii versus Louisiana Tech. This is the biggest bowl game of the year.
Wait, what is it?
Hawaii versus Louisiana Tech.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to go with Hawaii because of that thing you did before the game with the quarterback dressed in a different jersey. But I'm going to go with Louisiana Tech because they play an SEC schedule.
Okay.
You're on track. I'm going with Hawaii.
Yep. Because Chris took Louisiana Tech, I'm taking Hawaii. Alright, that'll be it for today's episode of the Big Four Podcast. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next week.